the three big boys in the Europa Conference League are on the brink of elimination. That's right, Real Betis and Fiorentina got big weeks up ahead in the second legs of the round of 16. Can they go through to the next round? We're going to take a little look next. So folks, back once again with another prediction video today. We'll take a look at the last 16, round of 16, second legs, where some big boys are on the brink of being eliminated. That's right. Who am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in a second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe button. You want to subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, Conference League, World Football. We're going to all hear under one Ruski. That's right, boys and girls. Real Betis need a win, goodness gracious me, after drawing the first leg in Spain. As for Fiorentina, they took an L, big fat L, and of course got to bring it back to Italy to get the W. Can they get it right? Well, we'll take a look in a second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. So what we're going to do now, though, is revisit my picks, and of course look forward to those next round of games. Sit tight, hold on, we're about to get into it. All right, then, folks, these were the last round of games. Of course, the first legs, of course, and with my predictions in white, and of course, the real deal in black. That's right. So, of course, Real Betis, I predicted a 2-0 win. They only managed a 2-2 draw in Spain. Meanwhile, Jagiellonia, they picked up a 3-0 win over Cercle Brugge. They got a major upper hand on that one. Meanwhile, Celje with a 1-0 win over Lugano. I went the other way. Panathinaikos did beat Fiorentina. I went with a 2-1 win. It was a 3-2 win. Meanwhile, Copenhagen with the 2-1 win over Chelsea. So that was my prediction, was the other way. A big win for Chelsea on the road. Molde did beat Legia Warsaw 3-2 on with a 2-1 win. Paphos was an important 1-0 win over what they call Djurgardens over in Sweden, but it was in Greece. And on the bottom there, back up to Poland, picking up a draw against Rapid Vienna. So those were the first legs, of course. So upper hand for Chelsea, maybe. Serious upper hand for Jagiellonia Białystok. They look like they're already there. But it all changed rapidly in those second legs. All right, folks, let's get into the next round of games then. Of course, the second legs of the last 16. We'll start with a trip to Portugal. That's right. Coming at you, Victor Guimarães taking on Real Betis. That's right. Coming at you on the 13th of March. Guimarães sitting in, they finished second in the table, of course, taking on Real Betis. Of course, a powerhouse in this competition. One of those guys expected to go to the final, if not win the whole thing. They're coming into this, the Portuguese outfit, unbeaten in at least the last 6, however, drawing 4 of the last 5. Spain's own Real Betis coming into this on the back of just 1 defeat in the last 6, of course, but also coming into this on the back of the draw. Now, they play 3 times, these two sides. 2 wins for Real Betis, nothing for Guimarães, and there's been that 1 draw, which was, of course, the last round of games, of course. Meanwhile, the last time I played in Portugal, it was a 1-0 win for Real Betis back in November 2013. Of course, coming into this, Guimarães will be playing Boa Vista Porto in the Portuguese top flight. They're expected to win that game. Real Betis taking on Las Palmas over in La Liga. They're also expected to win that game. It was a tricky one in Spain to call, a 2-2 in the end, but this one might be a little bit sticky as well. Of course, the bookies do have Real Betis slight favourites on this, so I'm going to go with a bit of a squeaky 1-0 win, which should be enough to see Real Betis go through to the quarterfinals. That's right. Next up, we go to Cercle Brugge. They're taking on Jagiellonia Białystok, of course, coming out of Poland. This match taking place over in Belgium. You're going to have to give me a minute here while I find the old match on this one, but Jagiellonia Białystok seem to be destined for a place in those quarterfinals, having a convincing first leg win. But, of course, Cercle Brugge did finish in that top 8. Maybe going into this a little bit rusty. In fact, they are very, very rusty without a win in the last 6 matches. In fact, they haven't won, but they haven't lost any of the last 7 home matches. They are winless in the last 6, but they haven't won in any of the last 7, if you know what I mean. Drawing a lot of games, picking up 4 draws out of the last 6. Taking on Jagiellonia Białystok, just 1 defeat in the last 6, and they just finished outside that top 8 in the league structure here, and they're coming into this on that back of that 3-0 win. Meanwhile, before this game, of course, Cercle Brugge will take on Club Brugge in a bit of a local derby there. Meanwhile, Jagiellonia coming into this on they'll be taking on Ludis over in Poland as well. Of course, no odds for this one, unfortunately, but my gut says I think we might get a bit of a response here from Cercle Brugge. They need a win, but I don't think it's going to be enough for them in the end. So we go to Lugano as they take on NK Celje. That's right, coming out of Switzerland, taking place also on the 13th of March. Lugano coming into this on the back of 4 successive defeats, including this one. Celje on the back of that, just 1 defeat in the last 6 matches. They are 75% form for them, and they're looking pretty good at the moment. They got that slight advantage from the first leg. Of course, did finish way down into 21st in the league structure. Lugano finishing in that top 8. 6th spot was theirs and all theirs, of course. Lugano, though, haven't scored in the last 4 matches. Of course, Celje, though, picking up a cheeky 1-0 win against Lugano last time around. Next up for Celje, they're taking on Promoji and Dracina in their respective top flight. Lugano going to Sion, where they're expected to have a bit of a close game in that one. But this one, bookies are back in Lugano to get back into this one. I've also gone with a 3-0 win, despite their recent run of defeats. It's going to take something massive for them to come this with a 3-0 win, but I think they should have it in their reserves to get through this and into the quarterfinals. Next up, we go to Fiorentina taking on Panathinaikos in what will be an absolutely monumental game. Fiorentina coming into this, finishing in 3rd in the league, but they're coming into this on the back of 4 defeats in the last 5. They're on 33% form for them. Panathinaikos, though, coming into this on pretty good form. Of course, they finished in 13th in the league. They picked up 4 wins at the last 5, and most importantly, they picked up the last one in Greece. Goodness gracious me, a 3-2 Bobby Dazzler. Meanwhile, the Greek outfit will take on Atromonios Atronion over in Greece in the Superliga this coming weekend. Meanwhile, Fiorentina got another stonker against Napoli at Napoli this weekend, which of course will damage their recent run of form of late as well. So not the greatest preparation for Fiorentina in a must-win game. Of course, they can't afford to draw. They've got to win. And of course, prior to recording, they were one of the top 3 clubs to win this trophy. They're still in amongst that. I do expect them to win this game, but will it be enough? I'm going with a 2-0 win, which will just see them scrape through against Panathinaikos, unfortunately, to send the Greek Giants out of this one. Let's go to Chelsea then, taking on Copenhagen, coming at you at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea rocking a 50% form for them right now, winning 3 and losing 3, but coming into this on back-to-back wins up against Copenhagen, who are on 58% form, coming into this on back-to-back games without a win. Now, they played Chelsea 3 times in 2011. They haven't won yet, but Chelsea picked up 2 wins, and there has been 1 draw. That last draw was at Stamford Bridge, and that result would not be enough for Copenhagen to go through. The Danes will have to pick up a W here on this one, but it could even be a 1-0, which of course will drag this one into penalties. The Chelsea are coming into this on the back of a match against Leicester. Copenhagen taking on Studenske over in the Danish top flight. The bookies, though, they'll go with Chelsea massively. Unfortunately, it was the first leg that Copenhagen had that really could have given them a chance to get through to the quarterfinals, but unfortunately, they lost that one. So they're going to lose this one. I'm going with 3-0 win. Chelsea will comfortably through. In the next, go back to Poland, or let's go over to Poland. Legia Warsaw taking on Molde. Coming over in Poland. Of course, the Polish outfit did finish 7th in the league. They've won 3, lost 3 of the last 6. Against Molde, have also won. They've actually won 4 and lost 2 in the last 6. They're rocking 67% form, and they did finish 23rd in the table. Now they played Legia also 5 times in 2013. They won 3 of them. There has been 2 draws, but no wins for the Poles. That's right. Last time around, of course, it was a 3-2 win in Norway. Very close scoreline. So the Polish team do need to win this game to get themselves through to the next round of games. Of course, Legia also taking on Molde is their next round, actually Legia Warsaw's next match is Motor Lublin in the Polish league. It's Molde's next game is this Europa Conference League match over in Warsaw. The bookies odds for this one will also be quite tight on the night. Legia Warsaw are fancy, but Molde do have that upper hand. Psychologically, that could be a difference maker. But I am going to back the Polish team to make it 2-1. We'll get a calculators out in just a second to see if that's enough to send the Polish team or the Norwegians through to the next round. Meanwhile, let's hop over to Scandinavia. That's right, as Djurgardens, they take on Paphos over in Sweden. That's right, Djurgardens coming into this finishing in 5th in the league, but they've only just won once in the last 5 matches. Paphos, on the flip side, finishing in 12th in the table, just 1 defeat in the last 6. And of course, they're coming into this match with that slender 1-0 win over in Cyprus. The Cypriots will take on Akanis this weekend over in the Cypriot top flight. Djurgardens not in a domestic action until the back end of the March, of course, so there'll be all preparations for this one. I'll need some preparations because they're coming into this with a slight handicap on this one. The bookies odds for this one is going to be quite tight. I would imagine it is quite tight. They just give it to Djurgardens, but it is fine margins. So the Cypriot team do have a slender chance to get through to the next stage. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win, and again, we'll bring it back on this one because I do think we have to see some other extra time, potentially penalties on this one. And then finally, we go to Austria. It's Rapid Vienna up against Borac Banja Luka. Of course, Rapid Vienna coming into this on the back of that first match, which was a draw in Banja Luka. But they're forming into this at the moment, 42% 72% form after finishing in 4th in the league. Taking on Banja Luka, of course, 83% form, unbeaten in at least the last 9 games. They're actually quite a difficult team to beat. They did finish 20th in the table with just 8 points. And they're coming into this with preparations for Sarajevo in their Bosnian top flight. Meanwhile, Rapid Vienna taking on Hartberg in a very tricky game on the road. Both sides are on the road this weekend in the domestic leagues. But coming into this one, the bookies odds back Vienna for this one. Of course, it was all even Stevens after the first leg. I do think the Austrians will have a little bit too much quality in the end with a 1-0 win to at least let them win the match on 90 minutes. So what does that mean? Who will go through? Who will go home? Well, if my predictions will come on in, this is what the aggregate scorelines will be. And as you can see it, Red Betis will squeak through 3-2 on aggregate. We have Jagiellonia Białystok joining them from that first leg, 3-0 win. We've got Lugano coming in on a 4-1 aggregate scoreline. Fiorentina will join them, as will Chelsea with a 5-1 win. Penalties will be the deciding factor between Legia, Warsaw and Molde. I've gone with the Norwegians, unfortunately, and they were joined by their Scandinavian counterparts, Djurgardens, with a 2-2 scoreline after 90 minutes or after extra time. And of course, the Swedish team will go through. And Rapid Vienna will also join them in the last 8. That's, my friends, is my predictions for those round of 16 second legs, and of course the aggregate scorelines. That is what I've got. Make sure you get your own predictions in as well. We look forward to seeing you, of course, back for those quarterfinals, first legs, whenever they are. But until then, see you soon. Smash the like, catch you later. Until then, we are done.